Right, I'm going to lay out the entire garment and get the katayama, so the shoulder mountain, which I can still see marked there, because we're getting ready to pin into place the sleeves. I like to have everything flat because we're gonna do it now. Here is where I'm talking about. Do you see this? This is the shoulder mountain here. This is your shoulder. And this is now your centre back neck. Do you see that difference? That's 5 centimeters. That's 2 inches. Remember, you have a pair that are already marked, and I'm going to match them up. And then put them together. So I've got my lovely katayama and the sodayama meeting there. Make sure that these two meet here. You can see the lovely marks. Beautiful. Down the other side. Wonderful. There we have it. So I'm going to pin this, and then I'm going to put it under the sewing machine, and I'll tell you what I do. I'll tell you what I do now. So when I pin this, I'll put 2 pins here and 2 pins here, right next to each other. 1 pin on the actual mark and 1 pin just beyond it. So they're next to each other. And that tells me where to stop, because you're going to be going along this seam here, and you're not really, there's nothing really to tell you other than the marks. So I always do that. I always double pin at the top and tail. And what I also do is I will back stitch 5 times. So I'll put the needle in and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back stitch, or sometimes you can up stitch if you want. So you put the needle in and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back and then start the seam. The reason you do this is the highest stress part of the garment. There's these 2 points on the sleeve where they meet the body, gets pulled around like nobody's business. The other part is the Miyatsuguchi, and we'll do the same exact thing there. But these, especially during construction, need extra strength at the top and tail of the seam, because you'll see once I start throwing this up to press it, once we've done a seam, the tails of the sleeve that make up the sleeve bag, so there's a lot there, that starts to hang down, and with a heavy fabric that really pulls, and having a good set of back stitches is a good way to control that. You ready to see this? This is why we do the stitching at the end, because now you're going to flip this up this way. Imagine if this was heavy cotton, even just a regular weight cotton. Doing this starts to really pull. You can see there on these parts. This is the shoulder to body seam, and then this is all going to be open down there. But we've got a Miyatsuguchi. The spot is just here, so 4 inches down from the end of that seam. What you want to do now is press to here, and you don't really want to press this open too much, because you're going to come in and be sewing it from there, and you can sew it once you've done that. So you want to know where the end is and press to here, and maybe just a little bit beyond to help the next one, but that will be pressed once we come back up with the side seam. So it's just a little bit of caution, and make sure you know where this opening is, and not sort of pressing all the way down to the end of the ironing board, because it just makes it harder when you come in, and you'll then put this seam together up to the Miyatsuguchi, so the side seam, and if it's already been pressed, you're going to have a crease there and it might be off. So it's better to just know where this is, and maybe you can go 3/4 of an inch over it, but no more, just so you don't play around with the side seam too much, and it makes it harder to then measure the side seam to make sure we're in the correct place. There we go. So I'll carry on pressing. I'm going to press this flat now. I'm going to do the other sleeve.